In this episode, you'll learn how to use lower vibrational energy as a prod for deep learning and change. Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, the podcast helping entrepreneurs be free from anxiety, stress, and tension through balancing emotions and consciousness expansion. 3 things you'll discover today: how to find the gold within tough, sometimes brutal vibrations and moments, why it's okay to be trapped, and what to do if you're being extremely hard on yourself. Let's start with the former. And the gold within the tough moments, the brutal vibrations. I feel that what is natural here is that you learn about freedom through noticing when you're not free. So, what that looks like is that you're feeling the absence of space or freedom or clarity. Those are all interchangeable words, right? But ultimately, and I say that the words are interchangeable because the depth of learning has nothing to do with just words. What we're actually looking at is that contrast between what are you in the moment before the mind comes in with a word to label what you felt. And this can get tricky, but that's why you can't try to do this work. Ultimately, it's you live your life and you find yourself having tough days, hard moments, and brutal vibrations. And then you look at that, right? Rather than gossiping, rather than perpetuating your own misery via talking through an energy of being in it, if you can see that you're in it and not want to get out of it, then you'll get out of it. Because naturally, when you see that you're in it, that broadens your horizon to also see that you're outside of it. But if you can never recognize, oh man, this thing has me gripped, like I am perpetuating, I'm cycling, I'm spiraling, whether it be horizontally, vertically, downwards, that's where the words come in to add flavor. And hey, of course, we need language to communicate. So I do my best right here, right now, to talk about something which is so beyond language. And so bear with me. But the gold is that space of, okay, I fully understand I can't put effort into expanding my consciousness. I also see that there is a role that I play somehow, some way in the depth that I go to. So is what's that space that can't be traveled to through effort, but also requires yourself. It also requires you to play this game in a manner where you're not attached to either end, meaning that there isn't a certain moment better than another moment. How do you get there? You start to receive the beauty, which is the contrast, in the difference that you feel. Because every day you're going to come across people in so many different states. And are you trying to have them come to your state? That's a motive. There is an unconscious root if you're trying to bring others up with you. There is an unconscious root there that perceives you to be better than them. It's very subtle. And I'm not attacking you. I'm really talking about things that I've learned through my own journey. And I've seen this in myself before, where I'm like, yeah, somehow, some way on a high horse or feeling good. And There's a way, right? This is where I like to use these three variables, whereas sometimes you stand up to people, then sometimes you meet them where they're at, then sometimes you walk away. And you'll use those three mechanisms intuitively, moment to moment. So it's not like once you walk away, you can't come back and re-engage. But sometimes what you need to re-engage precisely with awareness, correctly, righteously, is to walk away. You see, like that's the dynamic. That's the intriguing aspect to learning, to finding the gold within brutal vibrations, is that we don't control the energy we come into contact with. We don't even control our own energy because if you are seeking to discipline yourself, right? A lot of people, this is how the journey starts. You don't know what meditation is, or you stumble upon it. You start practicing it. You feel a little better because you're so used to being go, go, go ambitious. And then the meditation, it brings you to a place of, oh, wait, it brings you to a place of, wow, I feel a little bit smoother when I do this action. But then that habit, that practice, it becomes almost like a discipline, a mechanical training. And then that stops getting you the fruit. Because when something is, whether it's conscious or unconscious, if you're practicing something super mechanically, like same time every day, same amount of time, duration, there's only so much you can get in that facet of life. Now, you have to go through that to get back to a more childlike relationship to stillness. Whereas, I don't know if this was the story for you, but when I was a kid, I really didn't know what happened, but I remember my life getting harder, if you will. And that was just, I didn't know how to put it into words, but I went from having no ego, being extraordinarily free of thought, self judgment, um, self consciousness. I was just like unaware of myself. I was just moving through life when I was a child. And I can like feel that. And then my ego began to develop, and I started having all these fears. I was shy, worries, just right lacks of confidence, etc. Being emotionally sensitive, feeling like someone did something to me, all of that, right? And then you learn only through feeling what you are when you're caught in all of that which I've just listed. It's like if now, how do I put it? Maybe some people come to this earth, I don't know, and they don't need to go through the whole ego programming unraveling. I'm not here to say that that doesn't happen. But so that's really the essence here of, man, the more you resist the things that you quote unquote don't want to happen or don't like, there's fruit in the things that you don't like. I would say there's much more to learn about yourself. There's your life's going to get much better when you are honest about what you don't like. This life, it doesn't get good when you chase your desires. It gets good when you look at what corrupts you. Because it's, what's funny is chasing your desires corrupts you. That's a tough one. Right there, when I say that, you will have to burn out certain energy. So you will have to achieve certain desires. But if you can do that in a way where you're aware whilst doing the achieving, then becomes more of a beautiful journey than a once I get here, then I'll be this, because that's never how life works. The only the only beautiful thing in life is the here and now. And hey, I can't force that upon you, so I digress there. But why it's okay to be trapped, and this is really spanning from what I've just said. When you're trapped, if you can not get so self-perpetuating, right? Meaning that if you have a moment where your life feels tough, where you know you need change, where it's obvious that you can't keep doing something that you've been doing, those moments can be tough, and therefore you may label it being trapped. But in that, if you can sit and not build all these branches, but more so actually go from the outer branches inward, right? See, this is one of the biggest distinctions, I would say. Whereas you have an energy, let's say that energy is a center, even though it's more of a radiance all around you. And if you try to feel that energy, then you're extending it everywhere. But if you just are aware, meaning that you're okay with what you feel, even if it's not pleasant, you do your best to just accept, surrender to, this is the vibration, this is the flow, this is what it is right here, right now. And you attend to that, then it'll be like a symbiosis. As if you've ever been on a beach and you watch the tide, every single wave, every single few seconds, it's coming in and then the waves are going out, and it's coming in, it's crashing and it's flowing, and it's pulling in and it's pulling out. That's how your energy moves. So it's such a, I wouldn't use the word focus, right? Because if you mentally, consciously try to focus, you're missing the point. You're missing the point if you're trying to focus. And this is why I hint at mechanical training, meditation, routine, discipline. You need it, but you also, that's not the answer. Okay? There's no just one answer. Like the law of attraction isn't the answer. Energetic vibration as a worldview isn't the answer. Paying attention to every word that you speak isn't the answer. Feeling beyond the word isn't the answer. But when you have a symbiosis of all of those, then you'll start to let your righteousness flow, and you'll start to glow and shine. And that's not anything to do with you, right? Because the moment that a saint thinks he's a saint, he has forgotten the thing that would make him a saint. It's that freedom that creates someone who changes humanity. And the moment that an individual thinks he is the holder of something special, he no longer can have that thing anymore. Ah, Mr. Bud, my dog has entered the chat. Welcome, sir. Welcome. We'll keep you in. We will not edit you out. Now, what to do if you are being extremely hard on yourself? So, hey, I have these days, right? We all have these days, these moments. Whereas you sometimes are in a place where you said, why not? It felt right. And then you do it. But then every beginning has an end, right? And now that could be many years later. That could be a few months later. It could be a day later or a week later. That's not what I'm really talking about here. But I am saying that if you're extremely hard on yourself, then you have to realize that there is some form of stagnation in relationship to movement. Because if you're always moving, then you won't be, and when I say always moving, I do not mean physically go, go, go. I just mean that you're mentally, you're psychologically, holistically aware of the fact that this game isn't just thought, it's not just energy, it's a symbiosis, it's a dance, and it's a play. So when you're hard on yourself, it's that, okay, you're hard on yourself because you're sniped in, you're zoomed in, you're in the tunnel. Whether you're building something technically and you can't get the code right, and then you get triggered at the fact that you've been putting hours into coding this thing and there's a bug you can't solve, right? That's just the example. Or the same thing if you're working on a car, right? And you have a rusty bolt and you already torched the bolt, and now you're using a lever and you still can't get that bolt loose. You're going to be hard on yourself in those moments because you're mechanically like doing something quite literally, but you're zoomed in, you're focused. Now, if you can have that extension of awareness in that moment to realize, maybe it's time to take a break. Maybe it's time to try a new thing. Maybe it's time to go for a walk, come back to this after I have some food and some water. and I pet my dog or I have a conversation with my lady or whatever, right? And when I use my lady, right, I really want everyone to understand this, that you never possess someone in life. Like, although we have labels and titles and accolades and milestones and achievements and etc., it's like the only thing that there is, it's here and now. So when you're thinking about something that isn't here and now, you're gonna be more likely to be hard on yourself. That's just how the game works. Don't believe me. Because if you believe me, then you blindly accept. If you listen, then you can learn, then you can feel, then you can see the stillness, you can hear the wisdom within yourself. I'm not saying anything you don't know. That's just the fact. Maybe you haven't remembered it yet. Maybe you haven't seen it yet. But this is all within you, everything I'm saying. Now, recap. How to find the gold within tough, sometimes brutal vibrations? Okay. It's a dance. And the dance requires for you to be out of rhythm for you to learn. The only way that you dance in beat with the song is you feel what it is to be moving not with the song. There's only one song. Now, why it's okay to be trapped? Well, that is exactly it. It's actually a gift. It's a double-headed dragon. It's a two-sided coin. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's you get trapped so that you can learn about the nature of being free. Because how would you ever understand what's freedom if you haven't been in your own self-made prison? Yeah? The yin yang, yeah. Whoa. See, I don't use yin yang. I like the double-headed dragon, etc., because those are things that just more speak to the way I see the world. I do have a yin yang tattoo. I'm just saying there is a big difference. You can feel this. The problem with spirituality is sometimes people don't do the math, because real spirituality is simple math. It's straightforward. It's 1 + 1 = 2. But sometimes people think they can make up their own math. And what that means is that you start to create your own song. But the truth is there's only one song. So it's not about creating your own stuff. It's about tuning into what's always been here. When you tune into what's always been here, then you tune into the vibration of creation. Am I rhyming out here? Oh boy. So why it's okay to be trapped? Or did I just do that one? Yeah, I just did that one. What to do if you're being extremely hard on yourself? Hey, do something that gives you the space to recognize that you've been zoomed in. Okay? Summary? Hey, I appreciate you. I love you. Genuinely. I know that you have amazing potential. And I know that life can sometimes feel hard. So I share this message just because, hey, you're not alone. You're never alone. And then you are alone. That's the game. It's that paradox. It's that real relationship with, hey, if you're going to build a life that is beautiful, you have to have the strength to be alone. And that shows you that you're never alone. When you have the strength to just let go. I thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Let's go. New episodes are out Monday, Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you want to learn more, link in description below. Get all the details on how I can potentially help you be free from anxiety, stress, tension, so you can stop feeling empty inside. So you can create the body of your dreams. So you can attract the woman or the man that you know you're meant to be with. So you can live your life from an essence of freedom. And then when life feels hard, it's beautiful. It's not hard. Let's go. Speak soon.